Welcome to The Deep Dive. This is a Prime AI podcast brought to you by the folks at Silicon and Silk.
Great to be here.
All right, picture this. You've just scrolled through countless pages online, and then, boom, there it is. That perfect dress, maybe the ideal pair of jeans or the jacket you've kind of been dreaming of.
Yeah.
There's that rush of excitement. You hit add to cart, click, click, feeling good, and then that little voice creeps in. Will it actually fit?
Yes. That familiar dread. We've all been there.
Exactly. That moment of pure excitement. Then the anxiety about online sizing. And, for the retailers, the online fashion folks, this isn't just a fleeting thought for us shoppers.
No, it's huge for them.
It's a massive, tangible problem. These high return rates, because stuff doesn't fit, it's a huge drain on their business. Hits everything, right? Logistics, profit.
Oh, absolutely. The bottom line takes a serious hit.
Okay, so let's unpack this. We're diving deep today into the really fascinating world of how technology is trying to fix this universal fashion headache. We've looked at some really insightful material laying out the whole landscape of clothing size and fit solutions out there for retailers.
Exactly. And our mission, really, for this deep dive is to pull out the most important bits of knowledge from that material. We want to help you understand who the key players are in this space, what makes their approaches different, and maybe most importantly, how they actually help businesses succeed by tackling these fit problems head on.
Right.
We'll be looking at solutions built for, all sorts of businesses, from those small, agile startups just getting going, all the way up to the big global companies with really complex setups.
So whether you're running a fashion brand, trying to, boost those sales and cut returns, or maybe you're just someone who shops online a lot and wants things to fit better.
Which is probably most of us.
Yeah. Choosing the right fit solution is just critical. It's not just about having any tool plugged into your site. It's about finding one that genuinely works, one that really moves the needle and cuts down those expensive returns.
And that's because, business needs are definitely not one size fits all. Pardon the pun there.
Yeah, nice one.
The material makes it super clear. A startup selling just its own brand in one country, totally different needs compared to, say, a huge international retailer selling hundreds of brands, maybe with physical stores too, complex loyalty programs, those big ERP systems.
ERP, that's the enterprise resource planning, right? The big back-end system.
Exactly. Managing inventory, customer data, all of it. So this huge variety in needs, that's precisely what's driving the demand for such a diverse range of fit solutions.
Okay, let's pivot then. Let's talk about the small to medium-sized businesses, the SMBs, because their needs here are pretty unique, aren't they?
Very much so.
They're usually working with tighter budgets, maybe don't have a giant tech team sitting in the back room. So what they need is something affordable, super easy to plug in, effective, and crucially, something that doesn't need tons and tons of past sales data, because a new or smaller store just won't have that history.
You've really hit the key points there. For those merchants, the material points to a few really interesting options. You've got EyeFitU, for instance. That one's positioned as pretty cost-friendly. They have transparent pricing, often usage-based, so it scales up as you grow.
Okay.
And it's relatively low complexity to integrate, which is obviously great if you've got a small team.
Makes sense.
Then there are even simpler tools like EasySize. These are often quiz-based, very low cost. Think starting around maybe $20 a month, super easy entry point.
Oh.
But the trade-off is they might not be quite as precise or have the advanced capabilities of some of the others. It's basic.
Gotcha.
But for SMBs, and this is a really key point, especially those using Shopify, Prime AI's free Size Finder Lite app looks incredibly attractive.
Free. Okay, that definitely catches the ear for an SMB.
Right, and it's not just a basic calculator. This is advanced AI sizing, genuinely sophisticated stuff, but totally free. And it's just a simple Shopify plugin install, like minutes.
Wow. So how does it work without all that historical data you mentioned?
That's what's really clever about its predictive AI. It takes basic things. The shopper gives height, weight, maybe age stuff people know offhand. And then its algorithms, the AI model, can generate surprisingly accurate size recommendations, even without needing the store's past sales history.
Okay, that sounds like it really levels the playing field.
It absolutely does. It lets an SMB deploy a professional grade size guide almost instantly, something that used to only be possible for much bigger brands with tons of data and resources. It's a real game changer for businesses just starting out or without years of purchase history piled up.
That is a huge advantage, especially when you think about some of the other names, like Bold Metrics or 3D Yellow Key. Those often seem way out of reach for small guys, right?
Yeah.
Higher fees, more complicated setup.
Exactly. They're typically enterprise solutions. And even TrueFit, they've got a newer SMB offering on Shopify, but it's still around $249 a month. That might work for some mid-sized stores, maybe.
But for the really small ones, the micro retailers.
For them, Prime AI Lite being free, that makes it the kind of the obvious first choice compared to paying hundreds. So yeah, for SMBs, it really is that balance, cost versus how sophisticated it is. And Prime AI really seems to stand out there, offering that AI accuracy, but in a super SMB-friendly package, like literally free.
Free is hard to beat.
It really is. And what's also good is that Prime AI has a PRO version. So when businesses grow and need more features or customization, they can upgrade. EyeFitU also scales well, so there's a growth path.
Flexibility is key.
Definitely. And the materials specifically mention that the Prime AI Lite version, it delivers improvements right away. They observed an average of a 3% conversion rate bump for Shopify stores basically from day one.
A 3% lift just from adding a free app, it's significant.
It's huge, and it makes it such a safe bet for retailers. It costs nothing to try, it's super easy to install, and frankly, easy to remove if for some reason it doesn't work out. So a merchant can test it without any financial risk at all, low risk, potentially high reward.
Okay, so that covers the smaller players really well. But let's shift gears. What about the big guys? The established fashion giants? The household names operating on a totally different scale.
Right, their world is different.
Their needs must be completely different. We're talking, what? Pinpoint accuracy, a totally seamless brand experience, deep integration with those complex ERP systems we mentioned.
All of the above. And yeah, crucially, they usually have the budget to invest in the top tier, most advanced solutions.
So what are their options?
Well, for the enterprise players, TrueFit is a very common choice. It's really built for that large scale. It leans heavily on this huge database. They have hundreds of millions of shopper records, apparently, to make recommendations.
So powerful.
It is in terms of scale and its ability to integrate with major e-commerce platforms. But the material we looked at did raise some flags, noting potential inconsistencies or, let's say, questionable accuracy in some cases, despite its scale.
Interesting. Okay, who else?
Bold Metrics is another one often seen in the enterprise space. They focus a lot on using detailed body data, maybe for broader business insights beyond just sizing. But again, the material suggested maybe their tech feels a bit less modern, perhaps a bit outdated compared to some newer AI approaches that don't need as much direct input from the shopper. Both TrueFit and Bold Metrics, naturally, offer that enterprise-level support and the deep analytics big companies expect.
And EyeFitU. Could a large brand use them too?
Yeah, actually, they shouldn't be counted out. A large brand might pilot EyeFitU, perhaps because it can be deployed quickly or they like the flexible pricing. It's still a contender.
But you mentioned a rising star.
Ah, yes, Prime AI Size Finder PRO. This is positioned as a really strong contender, a rising star for these larger brands.
Okay, what makes the PRO version stand out for enterprises?
It seems to combine genuinely cutting-edge AI, that predictive power we talked about, with really extensive customization options. This is huge for big brands.
Oh, so customization light.
Like, think about luxury brands or occasion wear. The material mentioned Godiva, a luxury brand. They integrated Prime AI PRO as part of a whole virtual fitting room experience, working alongside another tech called Xyler. It created this really high-end, very tech-forward shopping journey.
Oh, cool. So it plays well with other technologies.
Exactly, and that points to its flexibility. The Prime AI team is apparently very willing to really dig in and tailor the solution. This is a massive plus for big brands who have a very strong visual identity and their own specific way of thinking about their fit philosophy.
Right. They want the tool to look and feel like their brand, not just some generic plugin.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And they want the size recommendations to perfectly match their unique sizing charts and how they intend their clothes to fit. Prime AI Pro allows for that deep level of customization. Plus, another big one for global brands, extensive language support.
Ah, crucial.
Totally. Means they can roll out one single solution across all their international sites. Huge efficiency win. One integration works everywhere.
What about 3D Look? You mentioned them earlier. Where do they fit in for large brands?
Well, they have a definite niche. especially for maybe more experiential retail concepts or certain categories like swimwear or intimate apparel, where customers might be more willing to take the time to snap photos of themselves for a visual try-on.
But there's a potential downside.
Yeah, the potential friction. Asking every customer to take photos might just lower the number of people who actually use the tool for everyday purchases, like a t-shirt or jeans.
Right, it's an extra step.
Exactly. So a big brand might offer 3D look as a cool, maybe nice-to-have feature alongside an easier, faster recommender like Prime AI or TrueFit that serves the majority of customers quickly. Probably not their only solution.
So pulling this together for the big brands, it sounds like it's not always about picking just one tool off the shelf. It's often a more strategic, maybe multi-layered approach.
That's a great way to put it, yes. They might use a broad solution like Prime AI for accurate recommendations for everyone quickly, then maybe layer in something niche like 3D Look for specific segments or products where that visual element really adds value.
And Prime AI's adaptability is key here.
Absolutely. Its ability to really mold itself to the brand's specific sizing rules, integrate with other systems, and provide strong analytics demonstrating ROI return on investment that makes it a really powerful competitor for these large-scale deployments.
Yeah.
Ultimately, for a big brand, the choice often boils down to which solution aligns best with their existing tech stack and their overall vision for that perfect customer experience.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, there's another category with unique challenges, the online marketplaces. The huge platforms like ASOS, Zalando, maybe Amazon Fashion.
Oh, yeah, a whole different beast.
They face this incredible challenge, right? Providing sizing help across maybe hundreds, even thousands of different brands, all using their own sizing charts and standards. How do you even begin to unify that?
It's incredibly complex, and finding a solution that can unify that experience is absolutely critical for them.
So who caters to marketplaces?
Well, TrueFit often feels like it was almost made for marketplaces. That massive database we mentioned, covering millions of shoppers and thousands of brands, that allows it to make cross-brand recommendations.
Like if I bought an Adidas size 10, it might suggest a Nike size 10.
Exactly. It leverages all that existing data, which also helps marketplaces when they add new, smaller brands. TrueFit might already have some data on them, reducing that cold start problem where there's no history.
But the accuracy question still lingers.
According to the material, yes, those potential inconsistencies are still a factor to consider, even for marketplaces.
Okay. What about Prime AI in this context? How does it handle thousands of brands?
This is where Prime AI really shines as an excellent alternative, especially for marketplaces wanting maybe more control or that more modern, predictive AI approach we discuss.
Predictive meaning.
Meaning it's not just matching past purchases, it's using its AI to understand the shopper's profile and predict the best fit for a specific item from any brand based on detailed product information and the brand's specific rules. It offers incredible granularity.
Granularity how?
It can be calibrated differently for each brand and even down to the individual product ID level if needed. So one central AI engine holds all the unique sizing rules for every single brand the marketplace carries.
Wow. Okay, so it can precisely match my profile to a specific shirt from brand X and then a different pair of jeans from brand Y.
Precisely. And its success in that Zyler partnership we mentioned earlier really shows it can handle these complex multi-brand scenarios and integrate smoothly with other tech platforms. And again, that multi-language capability is absolutely vital for global marketplaces. One integration works across all countries.
That consistency must build a lot of customer trust.
Huge amounts. Consistent, reliable fit advice, no matter which brand you're looking at on their site.
What about the others for marketplaces? EyeFitU.
Yeah, EyeFitU could definitely work. It's platform agnostic, designed to handle large catalogs, and used by multi-brand retailers already. Their size as a service model might align well. Bold metrics, maybe less directly suited for the customer-facing part, but could potentially be used behind the scenes for standardizing sizes across brands.
And 3D look on a marketplace. That sounds ambitious.
Ambitious is right. The idea of scanning yourself once and getting visual try-ons for thousands of brands is cool in theory, but just imagine the logistics. Coordinating the creation of digital twins or assets for every single product from every single brand.
Yeah, that sounds like a nightmare coordination job.
Immensely challenging in practice. Probably not feasible as the primary solution right now.
So summing up for marketplaces,
Okay.
the solutions that can somehow normalize fit across that huge diverse range of brands are the most valuable.
Absolutely.
And it sounds like Prime AI is really emerging as a very flexible, partnership-friendly option here because it integrates well and has proven it works in multi-brand situations.
That's a good summary. Yeah. Both Prime AI Size Finder Pro and TrueFit definitely tick the big boxes for marketplaces. Handling massive amounts of brand data, providing a smooth user experience for millions of shoppers, and scaling reliably. EyeFitU is also a strong contender in that space too, capable of handling complexity.
Okay, so stepping back and looking at the big picture,
Yeah.
all these different solutions, different technologies, they ultimately share the same core goal, right? Make it easier for you, the customer listening right now, to find clothes online that actually fit you well.
Exactly. And for the retailers, that simple goal translates directly into more sales and, crucially, fewer of those incredibly costly returns. It really drives home how every time something doesn't fit, it's not just annoying for the shopper.
It's a direct hit to the retailer's profitability, logistics, handling, potential damage.
Precisely. Every return costs real money.
So we've covered a lot of ground.
We have, and you see different strengths, right? EyeFitU stands out as a really solid, excellent, all-around reference point. Good balance of accuracy, ease of use, flexibility.
Right.
But what's really fascinating, based on the material, is how Prime AI Size Finder, PRO, has, well, surged forward as a leading alternative. It seems to bring together that top-level AI accuracy with really impressive flexibility and user-friendliness.
Making it suitable across the board.
Pretty much. An SMB can jump in with Prime AI Lite, get those quick wins totally free. Then a huge global enterprise can implement the PRO version for that deep, customized integration and analytics they need. It spans the whole spectrum.
And it's genuinely good news that, here in 2025, this technology feels really mature now.
It does. Solutions like Prime AI have clearly shown that these tricky size and fit problems can be solved effectively, and it benefits everyone.
Retailers get higher conversion, fewer returns.
And we, the customers, get clothes that fit, more confident shopping online, less hassle. It's a win-win.
And you mentioned Prime AI's low-risk aspect again.
Yeah, the material really emphasizes that, especially with the Lite version. It's free to try, free for basic use forever. There's no financial risk for a merchant to just test it out. It doesn't mess with their pricing or inventory or anything complex.
Just adds a helpful tool.
Exactly. And it immediately makes the shopping experience better. The feedback suggests shoppers who use it are happier, they trust the recommendation, buy more confidently, and are more likely to come back because they had a good experience with fit. It's such a quick, easy win that can boost conversion rates almost overnight.
It really makes you think. As these technologies, especially these really advanced AI solutions like Prime AI, get even smarter and weave themselves into basically every part of how we shop online, how might that fundamentally change our expectations? Not just about buying clothes, maybe, but about the whole idea, the very definition of what a perfect fit even means in this increasingly digital world we live in.
That's a really interesting question to ponder. Does perfect fit become purely data-driven? Or is there always that subjective element?